been celebrating Europe Day for the past 36 years together with our friends here in Taiwan, with the government and business community. The theme for this year's dinner marks 38 years since the Chamber released the first edition of its annual position papers, which have served as the foundation of the Chamber's exchange with the government. Tonight's dinner will once again be celebrating the close cooperation between the Taiwan government, the local, and the European business community here in Taiwan that has formed the bedrock for shared prosperity. As you all know, for tonight, we will be hosting as our guest of honor, His Excellency President Lai清德. When the President arrives, I would like to ask everyone to rise as he enters. Until then, please remain seated at your table with your colleagues and friends. 在我们今天晚上将会一同的来恭请欢迎总统莅临到我们的现场。在此时呢，我也将会邀请所有与会的贵宾一同的起身迎接欢迎总统。在此之前，有请我们在场的贵宾们都能够一同来入席，坐在您的当桌上。Before we start tonight's program, please let me introduce you some of the highly distinguished guests that have joined us in this evening. 在我们今天晚上晚宴开始之前呢，也请容我来介绍我们今天主桌的贵宾们将会有哪一些长官。首先，今天晚上我们将会一同有我们的赖清德总统加入到现场，以及尹荣理事长、高哲夫处长、潘孟安秘书长、吴钊燮秘书长、杨珍妮政务委员、陈时中政务委员、龚明鑫秘书长、林佳龙部长、郑林谦部长、郭志辉部长、彭启明部长、黄燕南部长、刘敬清主委、陈耀祥主委以及卢秀燕市长。当然，在我们今天晚宴的现场，还有众多与会重要的嘉宾们一同的莅临到我们的当中。期待现场与会的贵宾们都能够享受我们今天晚上所带来的盛宴。在我们正式的开始之前，也要再一次的有请我们现场与会的贵宾，将您的手机调至静音或是震动的模式。稍后我们的贵宾在舞台上方致辞时，也有请我们在场与会的嘉宾们都能够保持安静，也再度感谢贵宾们的配合。Once again, we would like to invite all our honorable guests to switch your mobile phone into silence mode. And with our distinguished guests having their speech, please remain silent. Thank you for your cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, the President is about to arrive. We would like to have everyone remain seated. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise and welcome our guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. 赖清德, President of the Republic of China. 在此，我们要有请贵宾们一起起身，恭迎我们的总统莅临我们今天的晚会现场。我们共同欢迎总统加入到今天晚上的欧洲日晚宴。Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. 在此，我们邀请我们与会的贵宾们都能够一同入座。Mr. President, distinguished guests, members of European Chamber of Commerce Taiwan, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I would like to welcome everyone to join the Europe Day dinner. In the very beginning of today's event, I would like to present some of the most prestigious ECCT member companies doing business here in Taiwan, and all of which have generously agreed to be our co-sponsors for tonight's event. So I would like to invite everyone to watch a video clips to know more about the excellence in commerce and industry. co-sponsors in the alphabetical order. And ladies and gentlemen, please do not stop your round of applause. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us thank the co-sponsors, Allianz. Where's your hooray and round of applause? And BNP Paribas, Credit Agricole, Ericsson, Hanneken, HSBC, Blue Rio, Nokia, Semi, Siemens, Societe Generale, Standard Chartered, Sarah Renewable Energy, to Brilliant, Volkswagen, Orsted. Once again, thank you all our gold sponsors. And later on tonight, I will also thank the silver sponsors and all other sponsors supporting tonight's event. And now, I would like to invite His Excellency, President Lai清-德, to come onto the stage and to join His Excellency. Please welcome Mr. Philip Gordowski, Head of the European Economic and Trade Office in Taipei, and Mr. Giuseppe Isso, Chairman of European Chamber of Commerce Taiwan, to come up to the stage. Let us give a round of applause in welcoming them. 在一起，让我们一起以热烈的掌声来恭迎总统来到我们的舞台上方。Now, ladies and gentlemen, please let us welcome Mr. Giuseppe Isso, the Chairman of the European Chamber of Commerce Taiwan, to address us. Round of applause.
Your Excellency, President Lai清-德, Honorable EU Representative Mr. Philippe Gordowski, representatives of the European member states, Switzerland and the United Kingdom, distinguished guests, friends, buonasera. Buonasera a tutti. Good evening. Tajawanan. Firstly, President Lai, on behalf of the ECCT, congratulations on your election as President. Europe Day is usually in May, but we decided to wait until after your inauguration so that we could make this a joint celebration of Europe Day and the start of your presidency. And also, now that Computex is over, we don't have to compete with all the celebrities. This is why we today have a record of more than 850 people in the room. This year marks the 30th anniversary of the publication of the ECCT's first position papers. So a long, long way. While that first paper raised just 6 issues, today they were hugely ambitious in their scope. Among other recommendations, in 1994, we called for promoting Taiwan as a regional operations center, a regional financial center, and a hub for international transportation. These set the tone for our future position papers. Since then, in fact, our advocacy efforts have not just been about promoting European business interests, but about opening up Taiwan to the world and actively advancing Taiwan's progress. For most of the 90s, we advocated for Taiwan's entry into the World Trade Organization. Thanks to our collective efforts, Taiwan formally entered the WTO in 2002. These achievements led to an opening of numerous local market sectors and a massive increase in trade and investment. Since 2001, Taiwan's annual international trade has risen fourfold to over $900 billion US, while cumulative foreign direct investment has risen by 500%, of which over 70 billion, or a third, has come from all the European companies that we have seen right before. In the years since, we have continued to promote further international alignment of Taiwan's regulatory environment. The government has consistently adopted our recommendations at a rate of around 20% every year, which have gradually increased Taiwan's international standing and helped Taiwanese companies to become internationally competitive. Along with booming trade and investment, we have created thousands of well-paying jobs. In addition to the advocacy work of our committees, we have set up cross-industry platforms to showcase and share the most advanced European and international ESG and DEIA practices, helping to raise the bar for all enterprises in Taiwan. Our first cross-industry platform, the Low Carbon Initiative, was set up in 2012, to foster cooperation between our members, the government, and the general public, and aimed at achieving a circular economy and low-carbon society. President Lai, you are already familiar with our chamber. We first met in June 2013, when you were mayor of Tainan, and just after we had become a nationwide association. On that occasion, large delegations from the Tainan city government and the ECCT held a meeting to discuss future cooperation. This paved the way for the first ECCT Tainan Low Carbon Conference held in November that same year, which became an annual event. I joined most of them, and was just one of the many more interactions thereafter. Our cooperation with Tainan and the activities of the LCI actually served as a blueprint for future cooperation with both municipal governments and central government agencies. Since then, we have held frequent conferences, seminars, and workshops with government agencies aimed at sharing best practices, aligning policies and development objectives. 2 years ago, we launched another platform, the Family Friendly Alliance, as a forum for collaboration with the government and other stakeholders to address the challenges resulting from Taiwan's low birth rate, aging population, and brain drain. These efforts demonstrate our willingness to go beyond our business interests and work together with the government and social groups to tackle difficult challenges facing Taiwan. These issues, Mr. President, matter to us because Taiwan is our home. While we represent European companies, we are registered as local entities. We pay the same tax rates as Taiwanese companies. 99% of our employees.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. 99% of our employees are ROC citizens, including myself, and we live here and raise our children here. Every time we meet government and business leaders from in and beyond Europe, we champion Taiwan's many virtues and achievements. In summary, we contribute to Taiwan's development and act as true ambassadors of Taiwan. Mr. President, over the past year, you have set out clear policy goals in many areas that align with our shared interests and values. Now that your administration is in place, our sincere ambition is to agree on ways to achieve our common objectives. Of course, this will not be easy, given the complexity and sometimes competing interests of various parties involved. But if we are to make real progress, we have to engage in meaningful dialogue as well as a constant process of reflection and re-evaluation. We have to ask ourselves every day, are we doing enough to make the world a better place for future generations? This is the standard we should be judged by. And also, is this policy, legislation, or executive action going to make things better for our children and the generations to come? President Lai, addressing the healthcare needs of an aging population will be an enormous challenge. We hope that your decisions will be guided by this basic question. What policies and actions will result in the best healthcare outcomes for all? On the question of sustaining the multilateral trade and investment flows, the fundamental question we should ask is Taiwan doing enough to maintain and increase internationalization, to adopt international standards and practices, and to boost transparency in administrative requirements and procedures? Taiwanese companies, particularly those in the semiconductor and the electronics industry, are belatedly diversifying their supply chains. But in an era of increasing geopolitical risks, is Taiwan doing enough to make its supply chains resilient and its companies truly global through international diversification? In particular, is Taiwan doing enough to increase supply chain synergies with Europe? Mr. President, we welcome your commitment to maintain a stable energy supply and transition to net zero, even amid surging demand for power from semiconductor and artificial intelligence sectors. Taiwan boasts some of the world's best conditions for wind, solar, and geothermal energy. But after a good start, Taiwan is now falling behind its targets. The situation is urgent. Companies operating in Taiwan desperately need renewable energy, not by 2050. Even 2035 will be too late, since many companies have pledged to reach RE 100 by 2030. Your administration will no doubt receive sometimes contradictory requests from the complex mix of stakeholders. We encourage you to cut through these with this simple question: what action will get more wind turbines spinning by the end of the decade to power Taiwan's digital leadership? In the same way, when it comes to electric mobility, the question to ask is what regulatory bottlenecks need to be removed and what financial incentives will speed up the building of charging infrastructure and encourage consumers to switch to electric vehicles. On the end of education, we should ask if the education system is preparing the next generation for the jobs of the future. We welcome your bilingual 2030 initiative to improve English proficiency. Taiwanese students also tend to do well in maths and science, but are they learning the critical thinking skills to help them distinguish fact from fiction in an era when misinformation Deepfakes and conspiracy theories are amplified by artificial intelligence and social media. In addition to academic skills, are our schools nurturing our students' physical health and mental resilience by encouraging group activities and sport? On the question of talent, Taiwan continues to face shortages of both white and blue-collar workers due to shifting demographics, overly restrictive labor and immigration rules, and insufficient incentives to attract foreign talent. The crucial question to ask here is, what are the friendliest policies to attract the talented people that Taiwan needs to sustain its economy and society? So, a lot of questions. As this is last Europe Day dinner for the EETO head, Philip Jeruzelski, on behalf of the Chamber, I would like to thank you, Philip, for your contribution and cooperation over the past 5 years, and we wish you great success in your new post. Mr. President, Taiwan is an island only in the literal sense. In all other aspects, Taiwan is now strongly connected and integrated with the world. The ECCT has played a crucial role in enhancing Taiwan's internationalization and providing the expertise and investments that they made this possible. But navigating the difficult challenges ahead will take our collective wisdom and efforts. That is why it is essential that we continue the process of constructive dialogue that has already been going on for 30 years. We trust that under your leadership, we can look forward to even more robust and productive exchanges. The future of our home and our children depend on it. Ganshi Tzu, Xie, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ito. Thank you for your speech. Coming up, ladies and gentlemen, please let us welcome Mr. Philip Grogolzewski, head of the European Economic and Trade Office in Taipei. Round of applause, please.
President Lai, Chairman Ito, good friends. I can't unfortunately name everyone. Even if I was limiting myself to friends only, that would be too long a list. So let me simply say, ministers, ladies and gentlemen, friends, 大家好，大家晚安。我非常高兴再一次共同主持这项连结欧盟与台湾的重要晚宴，这早已成为我们每年的惯例。今年对我而言，格外值得留恋，因为这将是我最后一次出席这个参会。Once more, I'm very happy to be co-hosting this event, which has become a regular occasion in our yearly calendar. That's an occasion to celebrate the strong ties between the European Union and Taiwan. And this year has a bittersweet taste for me, as this will be my last time, as Giuseppe said, attending the dinner, and one of my last events before I leave Taiwan. After 5 years in Taiwan, I had so many things I would like to share with you about the people, so many friends in the room, about the food. I came back from your inauguration dinner, President Lai, where I had an opportunity to taste the best food in Taiwan. So who was there was lucky. Thank you. Not mentioning stinky tofu, which is also still one of my favorites. About beautiful Taiwanese nature, about Hanhu Ironman. So there are so many things that I would like to share with you, but since I only have 5 minutes, and I'll be very strict about it, I'll leave those stories for the drinks afterwards, and I will focus now on 3 points, 3 observations that I think represent well how much we have advanced in EU-Taiwan relations. 3 observations only that show where we are and we were 5 years ago and where we are now. The first one will be about how we build strong economic ties. The second will be about how we have built a true partnership, a partnership based on shared values. And that's quite remarkable as we are doing it in the absence of diplomatic recognition. And the third observation will be about our human connection. Because today, more people in Europe know and care about Taiwan, and more people in Taiwan know and care about Europe. But let me start with the economic relationship. In 4 years, 2020 to 2023, bilateral trade between the European Union and Taiwan increased by 42%. It's big. EU imports from Taiwan grew by 60%, while the EU exports to Taiwan went up by 27%. The EU stands as Taiwan's foremost foreign investor, with 26.2% of all Taiwan's inbound FDI stock, with notable investments in offshore wind and high-tech industries. And as you know, European offshore wind companies are instrumental in propelling EU investment in Taiwan. And since 2018, EU companies have infused more than 300 billion Taiwan dollars into Taiwan's energy sector. So I hope Minister Guo is taking the message the way I'm proud of it. You should also be proud of it. Thank you. Now, I would be very curious, President Lai, to find out how many jobs we have created as the European Union in Taiwan. And let me add to the mix also the UK and Switzerland, because altogether we account for more than 33% of all the investments in Taiwan, so it must have created a huge amount of jobs for Taiwanese people. Let's try to find out the number. And our investments truly internationalize Taiwan, bringing Taiwan to the world and the world to Taiwan. I'm echoing here your inauguration speech. However, if you want us to stay, if you want the European companies to stay, please make sure that you offer a level playing field to the European Union investors. Please make sure that your market is open to international trade, especially with your trusted friends. Now, let me share with you some impressive statistics about the investments. And I'm particularly proud to say that Taiwanese investment in the European Union has surged by 750% in 2023 compared to 2022. And over the last 4 years, Taiwan has invested in the EU more than during the previous 40 years. Thank you, Taiwan. And this is your success. It's the companies in this room that are behind these numbers on trade, but also on investments. It's the success of Taiwan and the success of the European Union. And Taiwan and the EU both need to de-risk and diversify. And while there is still much work to be done, these numbers show that we are both moving in the right direction. And these numbers tell a true story of ever closer relationship between the European Union and Taiwan. Now let me turn to what we publicly call non-trade issues, which is a code name for political. And when I came here 5 years ago, very few people in the European Union circles spoke publicly on the record about Taiwan. This has changed. Taiwan now is an integral part of the European Indo-Pacific strategy, which aims at building strong and lasting partnerships. The aim of our strategy is for the European Union to deepen our engagement with partners in the Indo-Pacific, including Taiwan, so that we can respond to emerging dynamics that are affecting regional stability. The European Union's approach is designed to foster a rules-based international order, a level playing field, as well as an open and fair environment for trade and investment, tackling climate change and supporting connectivity with the EU. And that's, as I understand it, is also the priority for your government. We have made it very clear that Taiwan matters to us. A year ago, in June 2023, and Joseph remembers it very well, all 27 EU member states approved anonymously European Council conclusions in which we expressed our concern about growing tensions in the Taiwan Strait. We also made it very clear that the European Union opposes any unilateral attempts to change the status quo by force or coercion. And we keep repeating this message publicly in G7 statements, but also in private to all our interlocutors, including at the highest level. Peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait are important not just for the security and prosperity of the region, but also for our own stability back in Europe. Finally, let me end with the third observation on our human dimension, on the human dimension of our relationship. And in the last years, I have seen both Taiwan and the EU showing a genuine interest in deepening relationships with each other, not just economic and political, but also at a human level. And this mutual attraction is based on our shared values. We in Europe have seen this very clearly in Taiwan's position on the war of aggression of Russia against Ukraine. You mentioned, President Lai, a few minutes ago when we were talking in private, that you were impressed with the way my own country, Poland, receives migrants, refugees from Ukraine that were forced to escape. That happened all across Europe. And I was also proud of my compatriots. And I'm really happy and proud to see that Taiwan was with us, supporting us from the day one. This matters to us. Democracies must stand together against the threat of authoritarianism and to defend the rules-based world order. In this unpredictable world, I'm very happy when I see Taiwan looking towards the European Union. I'm very honored to see so many ministers present in this room, and I'll be leaving soon, but rest assured that the EU will remain strong in Taiwan, deepening our economic, political and human relationships, supporting a Taiwan of the world, a Taiwan of the world. Let me then end on a personal note. 功德圆满，于情意义。I'm grateful for all the friendship that my family and I experienced in Taiwan, and I'm not saying goodbye. I'm just saying see you soon, my friends. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kudakowski. Thank you for your speech. Ladies and gentlemen, now please let us welcome His Excellency Lai清德, President of the Republic of China, to come up to the stage and do his sharing for us. Round of applause, please. 让我们一同掌声欢迎总统来为我们进行今天的致辞。
Thank you. ECCT Chairman EETO. I'm not sure you are waiting for me or just a new person when you postpone tonight's event. Representative Zagorevsky, thank you for your dedication to build relationships between Europe and Taiwan. Thank you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is a pleasure to attend this year's Europe Day dinner. Thank you, Mr. Yeo, for the invitation, and congratulations on your re-election as ECCT Chairman. I'm confident that under your leadership, the Chamber will continue to grow and thrive. I would also like to thank Representative Zagorevsky and all the European representatives for your commitment to advancing the relationship between Taiwan and Europe. I remember just last year, when I was Vice President, I spoke at an ECCT luncheon and shared my national project of hope for creating a democratic and peaceful, just and sustainable, innovative and prosperous Taiwan. Now, I'm honored to have taken on the responsibility of leading the nation bravely forward. My team and I will do our utmost to achieve our policy goals. I also hope that with the support of the ECCT and the guests here tonight, we can set new milestones in the cooperation between Taiwan and Europe. Established in 1988, the Chamber has witnessed Taiwan's difficult path of democratization. It has also been involved in Taiwan's progress and development. As reflected in the theme for this dinner, 30 years of advocacy and exchanges in 1994, the Chamber began releasing its annual position papers, which address the development of Taiwan's business environment. A year later, it began sending its open door mission to Brussels to meet with high-level EU officials, ensuring that Taiwan receives adequate attention in Europe. We have all seen the results of exchange between Taiwan and Europe this past 8 years, especially in our economic ties, as our investment and bilateral trade have continued to reach new heights. Indeed, our relations are now at an all-time high. Europe is Taiwan's third largest trading partner, as well as Taiwan's largest source of foreign investment. Thank you. The ECCT has contributed to advancing the Taiwan-EU economic and trade relationships and enhancing our industrial links. For that, I want to express my sincere thanks. Europe is home to a great number of mature democracies. While Taiwan and Europe may be separated by a great distance, we are actually very close in our determination to advance democracy, peace, prosperity, and sustainability. We have shared values and common goals. In recent years, the EU has implemented its European Green Deal, European Economic Security Strategy, and its policies for digital transition. Today's Taiwan is working toward developing more forms of green energy. It has mastered advanced semiconductor manufacturing. It stands at the center of the AI revolution, and it is a key player in supply chains for global democracies. I believe that Taiwan and Europe can each use our strength as we engage in exchange and form an even closer and more solid partnerships. Taiwan has formed agreements with its major trade partners. This includes the signing of the first agreement under the Taiwan-U.S. Initiative on 21st Century Trade and enhanced trade partnership arrangements with the United Kingdom and investment arrangements with Japan and Canada. Looking ahead, we hope to sign an economic partnership agreement with the EU, which would give entities on both sides a better investment environment and more business opportunities. To that end, we look forward to continued support from the EU and European enterprises. We also encourage Taiwanese businesses to set their sights on Europe and expand their global presence. That is why, in recent years, the government has put strong focus on policies such as the Taiwan-EU Connectivity Initiative, Central and Eastern Europe Credit Fund, and cooperation in the semiconductor industry. As of this past April, investments in Europe by Taiwanese businesses has grown to 18.5 billion euros. This achievement stems from the efforts that Taiwan and Europe made together. We hope that bilateral investments continues to deepen and that of our scope of collaboration expands even more. As I noted in my inaugural address, in this era of globalization and wide-ranging competition, no one country can go it alone. Taiwan is ready and willing to work with European nations to address global issues together. This year's World Health Assembly recently concluded. I want to take this opportunity to thank our friends from Europe for voicing support for Taiwan's participation in the WHO. Our participation can help in creating a more resilient global public health system as we face expanding authoritarianism. We also want to thank European countries for offering their support and underlining the importance of maintaining peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. And I especially want to thank the ECCT for publicly affirming the message of resolve in my inaugural address to safeguard Taiwan's democracy. Taiwan will continue to serve as a pilot for peace and a force for prosperity around the world. And support from Europe gives Taiwan strength to keep forging ahead, side by side. Let's advance together to make even greater contributions to the international community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. And ladies and gentlemen, as the tradition goes, we would like to invite our guest of honor to drink a toast together with all our guests here. So ladies and gentlemen, please raise your glasses and join us in drinking the toast when I count 3, 2, 1 together. And together, please, let's say cheers. So ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, cheers to the 30 more years of productive exchanges! Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Gorgazowski, and thank you, Mr. EETO. And I would like to invite all our guests of honor, please return to your seats. 在此，我们要再度的恭请总统以及我们舞台上2位长官一同的入座，和贵宾们一同展开我们今天精彩的晚宴。And ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for waiting patiently. I know that many of you must be very hungry. So the dinner will begin shortly. We hope you all enjoy your dinner, and we also like the president to enjoy his dinner. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, please do not disturb the president while he is having his meal. And as usual, and in keeping with the best of European culinary tradition, we have prepared the delicious cuisine of the fine European dishes, pairing with the lovely wine, spirits, and beers. So European believes in eating in style and at a leisurely pace. So please, ladies and gentlemen, take your time and enjoy yourself tonight with all your colleagues and friends at your table. And I wish you all bon appetit.